This video is a response to the question Nelo Okeke asked in her recent video regarding investment in Nigeria. I'm also going to use my experience and knowledge of some of the tested and tried investment platform in Nigeria and also in Obodo Imbo. So this video is going to be relevant to Nigerians or Africans, both living back home or also living in the diaspora. Hi, my name is Mabel. Hence, this channel is called Ask Auntie Mabel. What better way to answer or to use this platform for the purpose it's meant for by answering a question that was asked by a young lady whom I admire so much on this YouTube space. So today I'm answering Nelo Okeke's question and also using the opportunity to discuss other issues that she raised on that her video. So I'm going to link that video in the description box of this video so you can go and see for yourself. The topics that Nelo discussed on that video, she listed them very clearly. So I took notes when I was watching that video. In fact, I actually watched that video several times. So the number one was that we are afraid to talk about money. Then number two was the mindset around money. Number three was savings and investment. Four was that you don't buy things that you can't afford. Five was to save towards goals. Five was to save towards your goals and still enjoy your money in the journey, which is part of the motto I live by. Then number six was not pushing things for later. That this is because things always get more expensive as we go along, as we now know, as we are experiencing inflation right now. So, right, I'm going to deal with the first question first. But before I do that, we just say if you watch this video up to this point, please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button, leave me a comment and put on your notification bell because I'm going to be doing a series of videos where I'm going to be reacting to some of all these positive vibes and knowledge and experience I can see a lot of people are sharing on this YouTube space. So first of all, this not discussing about money, being afraid to talk about money, I think it's a generational thing and it's something that our parents did to us and we are still doing it to our children today. But I will also be able to share my experience, how I have been able to break this habit with my children and now my grandson. So first, in this area, Nelo is very right. And I think I actually admire Nelo Okeke a lot and her family. And I'm one of those who watch from afar, who always admire them and actually talk about them a lot and refer people to them. I share some of the things I admire in their family with other people. So first, I think it's really important for us to start talking about money. But one of the downside I have observed, having lived in the UK for so many years, is the fact that Nigerians in particular and Africa in general, even in abroad, where there are so many investment opportunities, it's only now that many of us on YouTube that we are seeing people discussing money. We don't really discuss money. The only time we talk about money is to show off. Yeah, and sometimes people don't even tell you how they got those things they are showing off. For example, it became a very big thing that people were throwing very big parties for mostly their 40th, 50th, or 60th birthday parties. Fine. People can celebrate. I'm not saying you shouldn't, you can afford it. But a lot of people were copying other people when they see them do it because some people have saved up money for that purpose and planned for it so many years. But some people were just jumping on the bandwagon and also doing it at the ended up borrowing money. I actually know somebody who said that they borrowed £10,000 just to celebrate their 30th birthday, their 50th birthday party. That was pre-pandemic. So that's one way. And now buying brand new cars and buying, especially Range Rover, is very common in the UK for people to jump on the bandwagon. There are people who are doing very good job, who can afford to put a good deposit down and are able to pay it off very quickly. And even mortgages, some people have jumped into the bandwagon of mortgage. I know Nelo Okeke raised that. It might be easier to get mortgage in the UK, but I must tell you, Nelo, that more than 50% of the people in diaspora still can't afford to buy more, can't afford to be on the property ladder, can't afford mortgages because one, they can't, their income level does not qualify them, and some of their status, and some people as well, they have debt, they have bad credit history. There are so many things that prevent people. And some people's houses have been repossessed due to family problem back home, due to bad business investment they have involved with people back home, load containers of goods and even borrow the money to invest in those businesses and never got them back. Some people have taken equity in their property to invest in businesses or even ask for land to be bought for them, houses to be built for them, and it never happened. And businesses they have invested with other people have just gone down the drain. So that has also been a part of all of this. So that said, that money matter is not being discussed. We really have to start learning to discuss money matter. Hence, I actually started Able Mable Academy because I joined a business club, as well, a business group, a membership group, where we are discussing money. We are having joint venture together with other people with the similar mindset. So I'm kind of discussing some of those things with the mindset area you were talking about. So Nelo, that's being said that we don't discuss money. Some of us are now learning to discuss money. Are we share some of the app that I'm aware of, some of the investment platform that I'm aware of that people are using in Nigeria. Please, a disclaimer here, I'm not a financial advisor. There are professional financial advisors in Nigeria, but this app are places you can easily educate yourself and learn these days. So we use things platform like Trading 212, Vanguard to invest in pounds and dollars and euros in the UK and other parts of diaspora. But also in Nigeria, I know people who are using apps like Trove. I will write it out here is TROVE, and also apps like Bamboo. And they are trusted and they are using it to invest in really solid companies in Nigeria. Obviously, do your due diligence before you invest in these companies because there is a chance that your investment might fall or it might also rise. So these are risks. So you need to also, before you actually start investing, I think you need to think carefully what your risk tolerance are, because Nelo used her husband and herself as example in that video. So if your risk tolerance is very low, so obviously things like companies like Guinness, there are solid companies that have been there from when we were children, and they are still on. They are still going. Things like banks, there are solid banks that have always been there. You know, they are not going anywhere. So do your due diligence and invest through some of all these platforms. Obviously, check out the platform as well that they are safe. But I know people who have invested in Naira on this platform and they have found them very useful. And there are much more out there. Obviously, another area I think Nigerians are investing, even people in the diaspora are investing back home. Now, there are opportunities for mortgages in Nigeria now, and opportunity to actually buy landed properties in up and coming areas, and there are opportunities to pay instrumentally, even if it's not as long as a period of 20 years or more like you have in Obodo Ibo, but there are such opportunity to pay in installment as well for houses and for mortgages to pay for already built houses that you can rent out straight away and start earning some money, and it's also the opportunity for them to appreciate. I know there are some high risk platform where people are also trading and they are making such good amount of money. Obviously, I am not doing those high risk stuff because I am in my late 50s. I'm looking towards my retirement. I do not want to gamble with my retirement. And there are people, even when they are younger, the younger ones who still do not want to do such a high risk level investment. Okay. So that being said, Melo, I hope that has answered your question enough to talk about by not discussing money with our friends and family members. It's for us to learn from this mistake. I, for one, I have always learned to discuss money with my children. I have three adult children now, and I discuss money. I've always learned to teach them to put money in the piggy bank and open a savings account for them, and actually physically take them to the bank to put out their money. And they have picked up those habits. Some have learned to do it better than others, which I'm happy about. And I've actually started the same thing with my grandson. I did a video recently. I will link it in the description box where I did similar thing with my grandson, where we use the money boxes he got for Christmas to demonstrate how you can teach your children young on how to save money. Okay, I think I've answered Nelo's question enough. The next 2 points Nelo raised were mindset and savings and investment, which I was already covered alongside that first point, because I prefer to just make this a chit chat kind of discussion so we can gain from my knowledge and experience all interwoven. Then the number four is don't buy things that you cannot afford. Like I said, I've covered that slightly. It's not buying cars and things that you can't afford. Like in the UK, they actually say once you drive that car out of the showroom, it's already depreciated with a great deal of thousands of pounds. So really make sure that it's worth it. You are not just buying because you just want to follow the Joneses. And you really need it for the kind of job you do. So majority of the time, we park the car in front of the house, in front of our houses, and really use it at the weekends because most of the parking fees and even congestion, passing through the congestion zone in the UK can be a nightmare. So then that's that one. And it's not just cars. Some people buy designer. I know from night this social media make people to want to show off and show off that they also have Louis Vuitton and they have their Gucci stuff or they have the bone straight hair. You the younger ones, you know all of those things that you spend money on. So be careful that you are not buying what you cannot afford and something else in your life that is more important is not suffering because you are buying those designer stuff. Then saving towards your goal, obviously. I have several videos on my platform where I have mentioned a bit of savings goals and especially how you can plan towards your savings. There are a lot of videos on my channel where you can see all of that, how to set your goals and work towards them. And at the same time, enjoying it. That's one thing that I think is very important. That's an area that there are school of thought. There are people who hold so much to their money. And it just, I used to have a boss in Nigeria who used to say, if you hold too much tight with your money, it does not grow, suffocates. So that was a long time ago. One of the manager was very tight fist. So the other guy he was doing very well, investing his money on boats and stuff in those days, even more than 30 years ago. And he used to tease the other one that you hold it too tight to your money and it will suffocate. So please, let's not let our money suffocate and let all this stress as well about enjoying the journey. So please, what do you really like? I like when Nelo took herself and her friends to Zanzibar. So I like to go away with my friend. Like last year, I went to Marrakesh with a friend on holiday. And it's not everything you do that's really as expensive. If you plan towards it and work towards it, might not necessarily have to break the bank. The final point Nelo raised was not pushing things to not pushing things for later and because things get very expensive. That's true. So things you really want to do, I will always stress, do your due diligence, know the friends you're investing with and do them where you can when you can and don't leave it for later. If you things you can do today, there's no point leaving it to tomorrow. As I also say in my videos, the best time to start was yesterday. The next best time to start is today. So start taking action today. Okay. And also on that note, I will just close on this note, Nelo. I know it's not monetary value. This not has it got to do with money. Is the language. Please, I really admire you so much. The way all of you, the Igbo girls, Igbo women, you are girls in my book, and you're majority of you are younger than me. So the way you all just switch from your English and to your Igbo, and some of you do interpret for us though. So yeah, and it's so good because you can speak your language flawlessly, effortlessly. So please don't drop the baton and pass it to your children. I know you don't show all of your life. You might be speaking to them, obviously, when you're talking on YouTube. You just want to let us hear what you are saying to them. Please don't drop that baton because majority, I'm from Esan in Edo State, And some of us have not been consistent in speaking our language to our children, and they're adults and they cannot speak. The dominant language have taken over. I share this a lot on my other channel, Ebo Mabo, where I teach language, cultural heritage, and identity. Please, 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 for God's sake, you lovely Igbo women, please speak it to your children. And you have to speak it consistently. Trust me, if you only speak it intermittently, these children will not speak it. And don't teach them, you speak it to them. That's the best way to get children to speak the language. Okay? So I hope this video has been helpful to all of you. And please, if you have watched to this point, please subscribe to my channel and help this channel to grow. Please, we want it to grow, and I want to share more of these tips. And I have some other positive reaction that I want to be doing on this channel, because there are a lot of tips out there, a lot of good habits and good knowledge and experience out there that we can share more and make positive saga on YouTube as well. So yeah, on that note, I will say thank you very much for listening to Auntie Mabel today, and thank you, and see you in my next video.